Before that, maybe Senator Raffy Tulfo may to give an opening statement, if you wish.
Maraming salamat po. I just want to express my full support po, my wholehearted support to the passage of the two proposed bills, the Magna Carta of Workers in the Informal Economy and the Freelancers Protection Act. I cannot overemphasize the importance of passing a law that will finally define, protect, and preserve the rights of our brothers and sisters toiling mainly in the streets and under harsh conditions, trying to make ends meet on a daily basis. Ika nga, isang kahig, isang tuka. Nandiyan ang mamang tricycle driver at jeepney driver, si manong magtataho at fishbowl vendor, si ate na nagtitinda ng biko at bibingka, si lolong na magpapakintab ng sapatos sa Quiapo at ang mga nanay na nagtitinda ng mainit na lugaw at tinapay. Araw-araw sa loob po ng 2 dekada, sila ang mga nakakasalubong ko pagpasok sa aking programa. Kadalasan, sila ay nagbebenta ng pagkain at nagpapasigla sa mga libu-libong pumipila sa aking programa. Recognize ang kanilang contribution sa ating ekonomiya. Sana lahat po ng ahensya ng gobyerno ay magtulungan at makipag-coordinate sa pagpasa ng batas na ito. Sa usaping Freelancers Protection Act naman, sang-ayon din po ako sa pagpasa ng panukalang batas na ito. Naging freelance journalist at reporter rin po ako. Kaya alam ko kung gaano kahirap ipaglaban ang nararapat na kita at benepisyo, lalo na kung walang kasulatan o kontrata na pinirmahan. Minsan, gugulangin ka pa. Kadalasan, tatawaran pagdating sa bayaran. Mahirap na nga makahanap ng racket, mas mahirap pa sa sumingil. Kaya naman, bilang Vice Chairman ng Committee on Labor, adikain ko po ng bawat manggagawang Pilipino kasama ng mga kumakayod mula sa ating informal economy ay mabigyan ng tamang pasahod at benepisyo, makilala ang mga karapatan at mabigyan ng access sa basic social services, magkaroon ng edukasyon at trainings at mga pangalagaan din ang kanilang kalusugan. Lahat dapat kinikilala, lahat ay dapat pantay-pantay. Mr. Chair, if you will give me just a couple of minutes, if you will allow me, meron na po sana akong ipapakiusap sa ating Secretary ng Department of Labor if he is there with us or he's with us today, Mr. Chair.
Senator Tulfo, ASEC Leonard Constantine Serrano is representing Secretary Leguesma.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. ASEC Leonard, magandang tanghali po. Meron lang po akong konting pakiusap. Kasi this is the time of the year, magpapasko po, na kung saan ang ating po mga manggagawa, inaasam, pinapangarap, na sana po sila po ay makatanggap ng kanilang 13-month pay. Ano po yung 13-month pay? Ito po yung dagdag benepisyo para sa kanila, which means meron po sila isang buwang sahod na kanila pong magamit pagdating ng Pasko, pambili po ng mga laruan ng kanilang anak, damit, ang pang Noche Buena. Ang nangyayari po kasi, kadalasan po, hindi nabibigay sa mga manggagawa natin ang 13-month pay. Ginugulang po sila, dinudugasan po ng mga employer. So, ang tanong ko po, ASEC, meron na ho ba kayong mga nalatag na problema para this time, maibigay na po talaga sa lahat ng magagawa ang kanilang 13-month pay? Kasi po, time and time again, every year, after December, January hanggang June, ako po ay binabaha, pila-pila po ng mga manggagawa dahil hindi po nabigay ang kanilang 13-month pay. Kayo po, this is your first December bilang ASEC dyan sa Dole, and this is my first December bilang isa pong senador. Ano po ang pwede ninyong magawa at ako po ay magpagtulungan sa inyo para this time masiguro na maibigay na po yung 13-month pay sa lahat ng magagawa this December 2022.
ASEC, you may now respond.
Thank you very much, Chair, for the recognition. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Senator Tulfo, opo, nadinig po namin ng inyong tugon. On the part of the Department of Labor and Employment po, meron po tayong mga tinatawag na labor advisories in which nakasaad po kung kailan dapat mabayaran ang 13th month pay ng mga manggagawa.
Okay, sir, can I cut you off? Ayoko pong kumain ng maraming oras ng mga kasama ko colleagues. I'm sure marami siyang gusto magtanong. Magsasuggest na lang po ako sa inyo. Mukhang baguhan ho kata kayo dyan sa Dole. Ganito na lang po. Mag-issue po kayo ng warning sa lahat po ng mga employer. Okay? Na there will be dire consequences kapag hindi po naibigay ang 13-month pay on time this year 2022. Kayo po ay makipag-tie up sa lahat ng LGU, sa mga mayor's office, BPLO kung tawagin, Business Permit and Licensing Office, na kapag yung isang employer mag-renew ng kanyang permit, business permit, kailangan magpakita siyang ebidensya na nakapagbayad po siya ng 13-month pay ng lahat ng kanyang empleyado. Failing to do so, hindi po ma-renew ang kanyang permit. How's that?
Noted po, Sen, on your suggestions. We'll try to tie up with other agencies. Sa amin po, ang aming magagawa is to ask the employers to implement doon nga po sa ating tinatawag ng mga labor advisories, remind them, and
No,
with
sir.
your
Sorry, sir.
suggestion,
Sorry.
we'll also warn them, sir.
No, sir. So, no. Yung advisory po yan, baliwala yan sa mga employer. Habang hindi po sila nasasaktan, baliwala sa kanila yan, babaliwalaan nila kahit nga batas, sinusuway nila. Batas na nga po yung 13-month pay, hindi pa rin nila sinusunod. Kailangan po makatikim sila ng something para sila po ay talagang gagawa ng aksyon dahil ayaw po nila masaktan. Yun na nga po yung sabi ko, makipag-MOA po kayo, Memorandum of Agreement with the LGUs, with the BPLOs, para hindi nila pwedeng may-renew yung kanilang permit hanggat hindi sila pagpakita ng ebidensya na itong December 2022, sila po ay nakapag-comply at nakapagbigay ng 13-month pay. And then mag-issue po kayo ng warning through the media, ako po ay makipagtulungan, na itong mangyayari sa inyo kapag hindi po kayo nagbigay ng 13-month pay this December sa lahat ng magagawa. How's that? I'm just making a shortcut, sir.
Before you answer, Asek, I just would like to interject another question with all due respect to Senator Rafi.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Are there any sanctions that are being imposed to those employers who does not pay the 13-month pay to their employees? Do you have any experience?
Are you asking ASEC or are you asking me, Mr. Chair?
No, I'm asking Asek.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
If there are sanctions being imposed by your department with regards to the non-payment of the 13-month pay to the employees.
Yes, sir. May penalties po and if they are not able to pay. And actually, sir, ang kanyang payment ay dapat before the Christmas, sir, before December 25.
Meron ba kayong kaso na may nagreklamo ba sa inyo na mga empleyado na hindi nagbabayad yung hindi nagbibigay ng 13-month pay yung kanilang mga amo?
Sir, yes, sir. Meron din po itong ang mga kasong ito ay
No.
dinudulog po sa NLRC, sir. And
No. Sorry, Mr. Chair. No, don't say that. Huwag mo akong paikutin, ASEC. Baguhan ka talaga dyan. Ang NLRC, kapag yung isang empleyado ay umalis na sa kumpanya, pero habang nandiyan sa kumpanya, hawak po ng dole yan, ba't ka naghugas kamay? Bakit ka naging Poncio Pilato, sir? Mukhang hindi mo ata alam ang sinasabi mo. Sorry, Mr. Chair. Pero you don't know what you're saying. Ang NLRC, kapag wala na po yung empleyado sa kumpanya, so I'm talking about these employees still working with the company, but yet they're not receiving their 13-month pay time and time again every Christmas time. That's why I'm telling you, I'm directing you to talk with the LGUs para mag-MOA po kayo nang sa gayon makipag-tie-up kayo para yung mga hindi nagbibigay ng 13-month pay sa kanilang mga empleyado, mga employer, hindi makapag-renew ng permit, sir. Do not use the NLRC, sir. Don't mention that. It just shows na baguhan po kayo dyan.
Okay, Asek.
I've been in this business, Mr. ASEC, for more than 20 years, 24 to be exact. Kaya alam na alam ko pang pasikot-sikot dyan sa DOLE at NLRC. Now, yung sinasabi niyo po, ASEC, na meron na nakasuhan, wala pa kayong nakakasuhan. Because wala kayong ngipin. That's why I'm giving you this suggestion para magkaroon kayo ng ngipin. And what is that ngipin? Ito na nga po. Kapag hindi kayo nakapagbigay ng 13-month pay sa inyong mga empleyado, hindi kayo makapag-renew ng inyong permit. Period. Through the BPLO.
Asek, please.
thank you, Chair. Yes, sir, Senator Tulfo. We will do that po. We will coordinate with the other agencies. If I may respectfully add lang rin, Chair, Sir Chair, ang ito po meron po tayong tinatawag na mga labor inspections at doon po nakikita kung meron po non-compliance sa pagbayad ng 13-month pay. At sa DOLE's part, ito po ay ating in-implement through the inspections rin, sir.
No, hindi niyo po ginagawa yan kasi kung ginagawa niyo po yan, sana po wala na po ipila dito sa TV5 na kung sa meron kang action center every year, even while we speak, meron po nakapila diyan ngayon. At hanggang ngayon, hinahabol pa rin 13-month pay. Don't tell me that. Maglagay po kayo ng hotline. Okay? Bukod doon sa sinabi ko, makipag-MOA kayo sa mga taga-LGU, maglagay po kayo ng hotline na kapag hindi po naibigay ang 13-month pay nyo on or before December 24, ito yung tatawagan nyo para isumbong namin yan sa BPLO ng LGU kung saan yung inyong kumpanya para maipit yung kanilang permit, ang kanilang permit renewal.
Senator Rafi, siguro pwede nyo kaming furnishan ng kopya ng mga kumpanya na hindi nagbabayad po ng 13-month pay sa kanilang mga empleyado at i-forward po natin sa Department of Labor.
Yes,
Kung pwede po, Senator Rafi.
Karamihan po sa kanila kasi nasolve ko na po, Mr. Chair. Kumbaga nakipag-brush-one po ako sa mga taga-Dole. In some cases, I'm sorry mga taga-Dole, hindi naman po lahat, marami sa inyo mababait pa rin. In some cases, yung 13-month pay na dapat mapunta sa mga empleyado, napupunta ata sa ilang bulsa na mga ilang, hindi naman po lahat. Again, medyo salbahe.
Asik, you may now respond.
Sir, maraming salamat po sa inyong mungkahi. Under the administration of Secretary Laguesma, we will make sure that that will not happen, Senator Tulfo. Salamat po.
What sanction, if any, will you impose if there is non-compliance of the 13-month pay? Will you cancel their permit, revoke their permit? What? Well, Senator Tulfo, nawala yata si...
Dito pa po ako, Mr. Chair, sir. Mr.
Hindi
Chair.
kasi kita nakikita. Yan.
Dito po ako, Mr. Chair.
Please.
Mr. Chair.
What sanction may or should you impose if there is a non-compliance of the 13-month pay?
Sir Chair, firstly, we'll order them to pay. Kung hindi pa rin po magbabayad, hindi po sila bibigyan ng clearance sa kanilang Certificate of General Labor Standards, sir.
You better make sure.
Yes, sir. We will do that.
Okay.
Pero Mr. Chair, mas matindi po sana yung renewal ng kanilang business permit. Kasi kapag hindi sila nakapag-renew, then hindi sila pwede mag-operate, mapipilitan po sila ipasara ng BPLO. Yun po siguro para sa akin ang pinaka-tamang way na maobliga itong mga kumpanya na hindi nagbibigay ng 13-month pay.
Siguro you have to coordinate with the
Pay to the employees, no
LGUs.
permit renewal.
You have to discuss it with the LGUs, ASEC.
Yes, sir. We will do that, sir. Thank you po sa inyong recommendation, Senator Tulfo.
Thank you, Asek. Mr. Chair, thank you so very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Rafi. Yusek Bitonio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and the honorable members of the committee. Good afternoon. Ang Department of Labor and Employment po, welcome itong bill na ito. Dahil nagbubukas po ng opportunity para magkaroon ng malawakang discussion. Hindi lang dito sa freelancers, pero yung mga related emerging work arrangements driven by technology, kasama na po dyan yung tinatawag nating gig economy. Talagang kailangan po ito ng masusing pag-aaral at discussion dahil itong mga arrangements na ito ay bago lamang. Gusto ko lang pong susugan yung nabanggit ni Senator Villanueva na kinakailangan natin talaga ma-sharpen yung distinction kung ano ang gusto nating i-cover sa batas na ito. Kasi po yung freelancers na term ay hindi naman po bago yan. Ang tawag dyan under current laws ay independent contracting. Meron pong mga existing laws and regulations na nagko-cover ng independent contracting. Ganun pa man po, merong pagbabago dahil sa mga arrangements na ito, mukhang pumapasok na yung technology. So yung means of doing this, the services that are covered by these arrangements have changed and they are technology driven. Mr. Chairman, put forward the views of the Department of Labor and Employment on this, especially in the area of clarifying what is the scope of this legislation, of this proposed legislation. It is very, very important, Mr. Chairman, because on the one hand, while the Department of Labor and Employment is primarily concerned with situations where an employer-employee relationship exists, in the case of independent contracting, the regulatory structure of the Department of Labor and Employment does not apply. The Department of Labor and Employment cannot be used, for instance, to enforce rights arising from independent contracts or from contracts covered by independent contracting arrangements. Meron lang kaming concern dito po, Mr. Chairman, dahil dito sa panukalang batas na ito, maraming assignment ang ibinibigay sa Department of Labor and Employment. At alam natin ito lahat yan na kung maraming assignment, nangangailangan ng tao na nakadedicate dito sa assignment na ito para magampanan at ma-implement ng tama yung batas. So kung ano man, parang nakikita namin po dito ay ang ma-expand yung jurisdiction ng Department of Labor and Employment at papakialaman na rin siya niya yung pag-e-enforce, pag-adjudicate ng claims arising from independent contracting arrangements. Wala po yan sa current system at kung ito po ang mangyayari, ang Department of Labor and Employment po ay hindi handa. Hindi handa yung administrative structure ng Department of Labor and Employment po dito. Siguro po ang pwede lang may offer ng Department of Labor and Employment sa ngayon sa mga sitwasyon na hindi covered ng employer-employee relationship ay yung aming conciliation and mediation facilities. Nag-agree yung parties na mag-submit dito sa conciliation and mediation facilities. Pero kung wala pong settlement doon, hindi ito pwedeng iakyat sa adjudicatory powers ng Secretary of Labor at hindi rin po pwedeng ipasa sa National Labor Relations Commission. So ang nakikita po namin dito na kinakailangan tugunan dito sa mga freelancers na ito ay unang-una, kung nagkaroon ba ng dispute itong arrangements na ito, sila tatakbo. Pangalawa, ito bang mga arrangements na ito ay covered ng social protection legislation? Doon po sa una, maliwanag po na in the absence of a clear jurisdictional power vested in the Department of Labor and Employment, then the remedy will have to be the courts. On the other hand, doon sa pangalawa, yung social legislation, covered naman po ang independent contractors dyan sa social legislation natin. Kung gusto nilang magmiyembro as voluntary members of the SSS. Having said those, Mr. Chairman, may I also make some observations on the specific provisions of the bill. Number one, dun sa nabanggit ko na po yung kinakailangan po natin na liwanagin kung ano yung coverage ng batas na ito. Pangalawa, dito sa definition po or sa enumeration ng rights ng freelancers, section 6. Kung titignan po natin, lahat ng rights na ito ay generally rights po ng manggagawa. Whether they are freelancers or workers under an employer-employee relationship. Wala pong distinction yan. Ang pinapagkaiba lang po, magkakaroon ng diferensya lamang kung una, merong employer-employee relationship. Kung on the other hand naman, independent contracting ang arrangement. Pangalawa, na point of distinction, saang sektor yung gagawa? Nasa private sector ba ito o nasa public sector? Pangatlo, yung location po ng performance ng trabaho. Nakikita po natin dito na hindi lang within Philippine jurisdiction ang kinocover nitong batas na ito. Pwede din yung kakontrata ng freelancer, kung gamitin natin yung term na yan, ay nasa labas ng bansa. And immediately we will have some issues regarding the enforcement of contractual arrangements beyond the territorial jurisdiction of the Philippines. May nababanggit po dito na para maprotektahan yung mga karapatan ng mga freelancers and other workers to be covered by this bill, the government or the state is going to pursue bilateral arrangements with other countries. It is not clear, Mr. Chairman, who is the agency that is going to do this. But however, I would just like to point out, Mr. Chairman, how the potential and practical difficulties that one might encounter in pursuing bilateral arrangements of this nature. For instance, to cite an extreme example, in the case of federal states like the United States, these states there, you have 50 states there, and they have different state laws. Their labor laws are different from each other, depending on the state. The state of California was mentioned by one of the resource speakers, but the labor laws in the state of California are different from the labor laws in the state of New York. So those are the practical difficulties that one might encounter, Mr. Chairman, in pursuing bilateral arrangements. But those are some of the thoughts
Right.
that we can share with you at this point, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Yusek. Senator Francis.
Mr. Chairman, I think the job here of DOLE is to help the committee finalize the contentious points coming out of the proposed bills. And not to lecture on us that it is difficult. Sinabi nyo, mahirapan kayo. How would you convert your seemingly unpreparedness status right now to preparedness? That's why we're crafting a bill. And don't cite American laws, blah, blah, blah. I'm also a lawyer in New York. Hindi na pinag-uusapan yan. Ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, paano natin matutulungan yung manggagawa natin na walang employer-employee relationship na nakalagay sa saligang batas, trabaho ng Estado na bigyang proteksyon ng manggagawa. Hindi yung iiwas tayo na hindi namin kaya to, paano natin bilateral relation. Help us craft this bill. Help us fine-tune these pieces of legislation. Enable our workers benefit from social legislation that can be provided by the state and Congress. So, wag natin sabihin, ay mahirap nga gawin to. Paano natin gagawin? Parang umayaw na tayo rito, sir. Ang trabaho natin, pagandahin ito, ayusin to para sa mga manggagawa, hindi yung para umiwas tayo na hindi natin kayang ipatupad dito. Nasa ibang bansa, meron na tayong Department of Migrant Workers, meron tayong mga polo, Department of Foreign Affairs ang pumapasok sa bilateral relations. Bakit natin, parang sinabi nyo sa amin, wag na natin ituloy ito at napakahirap nito. Wag po ganun, sir. Wag po ganun, sir. Napakasakit pakinggan yung ganun. Kami, kahit nakabakasyon, nagtatrabaho rin kami dito. Si chairman, pinagpupuyatan din ito. Pero pag sabihin natin na hindi natin kayang ipatupad ito at gawin, umuwi na tayo. Parang mali ho yun. Hindi ho yun ang sinumpaan tungkulin nating lahat dito. Salamat po.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
May I, sir?
Mr. Chairman.
For that, Senator Joel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I commiserate and share the sentiments of our dear colleague, Senator Francis Tolentino. This is the problem, Mr. Chairman. Pagka simula pa lang, ayaw na natin or nagko-complaint na tayo na trabaho na naman, hindi mo maganda yung dating. Kasi when you start thinking about the laws of different states of the United States, we don't care about it. We care about our people. We are here to protect our workers. We are all in agreement that at this point in time, there is nothing in the provision of the labor code, nothing with regard to, when we talk about our laws, zero protection for our freelancers, for the informal economy. And that's what we are talking about. And just for the record, Mr. Chairman, when we passed the occupational safety and health standards, Dole came to us and said, we don't have inspectors. This representation introduced an amendment, 200 plus million pesos for our inspectors. And we provided inspectors for Dole. And perhaps let's be extra careful in making statements na parang mahirap itong trabaho. Wala namang madaling trabaho, especially to help our people. For example, Mr. Chairman, itong Section 6, itong rights of freelancers. Babalikan ko lang, Mr. Chairman, just to pound my point here, Mr. Chairman. This was written and part of the bill because I am not supposed to ask questions anymore, Mr. Chairman. But let me ask this question to the Department of Labor and Employment. What have you been doing with the complaints being filed by our freelancers on the conditions of their employment? What are you doing? How do you handle these complaints? Considering that freelance work is primarily governed by the civil service, by civil code. Do you have a system of assistance to guide them, to guide our freelancers on the proper recourse and to educate them of their rights? Ay, yung mga narinig natin kanina, hindi nila alam saan sila pupunta, anong gagawin nila. So this is the answer to the problems that we are facing. But right now, sige, pag-usapan natin. Gusto niyo pag-usapan natin? Anong ginagawa niyo? Isa-isahin natin lahat ng sektor. If that's what you want, Mr. Chairman, I'm willing to stay here until the wee hours of the morning and we'll ask questions. How are you taking care of our freelancers? Yung isang photographer na kumuha ng pictures dun sa isang kasal, biglang hindi siya binayaran. Anong gagagawa niyo? Sa amin pumupunta para humingi ng tulong. Anong batas meron tayo? Wala. So this is the reason why we're spending time, quality time, to help them, protect them. So punta tayo sa ibang dako, yung mga riders, biglang umorder, hindi binayaran. Ang gagawin natin? Mismo sa PSA natin, hindi naka-record kung sino freelance. Isa sa atin dito, wala makapagsabi. Ilan talaga yung freelancers dito eh. Ilan din sa informal economy. Wala makapagsabi eh. Sabihin natin, hindi, mahirap tong trabaho na to. Baka hindi natin kaya to. Mahirap po yun. Parang baliwala na lang tayo. Abolis na lang natin lahat sarili natin. Pagka ganun, Mr. Chair.
In fact, you never submitted any position paper before this committee with regard to this bill that we are discussing right now. Comsec, is there any? Did they submit any position paper? Did Dole? Wala. So I don't think.
May I, Mr. Chairman?
Are you interested?
Mr. Chairman, with my apologies to the good senators,
Chairman, yung iba nag-submit na ng position papers. Yung kumukontra, wala palang position paper.
Chairman, if I may, with the permission of the members of the, again, we express our apologies for whatever undue statements that we may have made. We manifest, Mr. Chairman, that we are going to submit formally our position paper. But as I prefaced my statement earlier, we welcome the filing of this bill because it opens a whole new avenue of discussion. The intention of the Department of Labor and Employment in pointing out the matters that we have earlier stated was really to put forward the discussion points that we feel ought to be further explored in relation to the drafting a bill that is going to be responsive to the needs of not only of freelancers, but as I've said earlier, to the needs of the workers in the emerging economy who are involved in emerging work arrangements, particularly the technologically driven work This is Mr. Chairman, honorable
Chairman,
senators.
I think the problem arose from the non-submission of DOLE of its position paper and the expression of personal opinions coming from the representative of DOLE. You separate your personal biases and opinions vis-a-vis the official position of your mother department, which may be contrary to your personal opinion. It is not the opinion of the entire Dole family. I'm very sure of that. We have hardworking other personnel of the Department of Labor willing to accept additional duties for the sake of our workers and not abstain or refrain from having additional functions. So paghiwalayin mo yung personal opinion mo at yung opinion ng Dole.
Maybe we can ask him if that was his personal opinion or not.
No, Mr. Chairman, we came here after due discussions within the Department of Labor.
So then let me ask this question, Mr.
That
Chair.
was your personal opinion?
No, Mr. Chairman, we came, we have a committee in the Department of Labor and Employment. We call it the Technical Committee on Legislative
No, the
Matters.
statements that you just made earlier, was that your personal opinion or is that the opinion of the department?
And that is the department's position, Mr. Chairman. We manifest that if we may be given a chance to submit the formal position paper.
So as far as I understand, you are not in favor of this bill. Am I correct?
No, Mr. Chairman. As I've stated earlier, this is a very good opportunity for us to clarify certain issues about the workers or those workers who are involved in the emerging world of work. We know that there are many problems encountered, including how they enforce their rights arising from contracts, including their access to labor dispute resolution mechanisms, and also including their access to social
Sinabi mo
protection
kanina,
mechanisms.
ang departamento nyo, hindi kayo handa, kung ano-ano sinasabi ninyo. So, katulad nga na sinabi ni Senator Francis, na nandito tayo para tulungan kami, magtulungan tayo para protektahan itong ating mga freelance workers. May tulungan nyo naman kami. Hindi,
Yes, sir. Certainly, we are at
contradicting yung aming mga ginagawa dito.
your disposal, Mr. Chairman.
Pakialam
the
namin
committee.
sa mga labor laws sa California, mga labor laws sa New York. Ano pakialam namin doon? Nandito tayo sa Pilipinas. Ang sundan natin, ang mga batas ng labor laws dito sa Pilipinas, wala tayong pakialam sa mga batas ng ibang bansa.
Mr. Chairman, I mentioned that because one of the resources speakers mentioned a California law, and that was also in relation to the matter of entering into bilateral arrangements with other countries.
But it's
I was
beside
disappointed.
your jurisdiction as DOLE. We have Department of Migrant Workers. We even have Migrant Workers Office in every embassy. So why would you talk about something that is outside your jurisdiction? Even DMW is no longer part of DOLE. May I know, Mr. Chairman, may I ask you, Yusek, committee is this committee that we are in?
This is the Committee on Labor and
Committee
Employment.
on Labor, and we're tackling these very important measures. The Department of Labor and Employment has no position paper? How is that, Mr. Chairman? Anong committee to kung ganun?
I myself am surprised because the committee secretary just informed me that there was no position paper submitted by this department.
What are they doing? They're not preparing? They come here to the Senate unprepared, Mr. Chairman?
Mr.
And
Chairman.
That's not acceptable.
This has been passed during the last Congress through the efforts of our majority floor leader. Did you submit a position paper during the last Congress?
Definitely, Mr. Chairman, yes.
Yes.
Do you want to put that in record here in this committee?
Submit
Or do you want to
we will submit another position
a
paper.
different
Mr.
position
Chairman.
paper?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, in order to put on record and formalize the points that we have raised earlier. Just to if I may be allowed, Mr. Chairman, just to clarify, I raised those points, or the Department of Labor and Employment raised those points in order, with the view of inviting and providing inputs to the committee on what might be the points that need to be clarified in crafting a legislation that is responsive to the matter that we are trying to address, Mr. Chairman.
We will give you 1 week to submit the position paper of the department.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we will do that, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I just wanted to put on record, Mr. Chairman, that if you look at the Department of Labor statement, the Department of Labor and Employment admitted that there is no current labor protection accorded to freelancers and self-employed professionals, and that the provisions of the labor code do not generally apply to them. And that's why these measures that we are deliberating upon is very important, Mr. President, Mr. Chairman. So just want to put that on record, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Joel. Senator Robin Hood.
Maraming salamat po, mahal na tagapangulo. Siguro para medyo lumamig-lamig ang hangin, ibahin ko muna yung topic. Opo, pasensya na ho kayo kung nag-react ang mga mahal niyong senador sapagkat nabigla din po kami sa mga sinabi niyo po. Pasensya na po kayo kung kami nag-react. Katunayan, yung mga binanggit niyo po, nandun po yun sa mga panukalang batas. Katulad po noong right to a written contract or agreement, right to just compensation, and equal remuneration. Nandito po lahat. Nandiyan po sa panukalang batas. Opo. Ngayon, igaganon ko muna po para lumamig. Medyo painumin ko muna po ng tubig si Senator Tolentino na high blood yung boss ko boss. Doon muna po ako. Kasi po, kami po mismo, ang asawa ko po ay may online business. Meron din po kaming mga delivery boys. Tatanong ko lang po sana, kasi napakahalaga po sa amin yung internet connection. Ito po para po siguro kay Asik Jeffrey, Ian D. Yan. Ang problema po namin, yung aming internet, kaya ano pa ang ipalagay namin? Sasabihin nila, ito pinakamabilis, di pupunta kami doon. Tapos sasabihin, ito ngayon ang pinakamabilis, doon naman kami. Pero parang wala din. Parang mahina pa rin po. May araw na hindi mo magamit, may araw na. Kailan po ba lalakas ang internet natin? Ito po, merong sinasabi na nagkaroon na tayo ng bagong batas na nagsasabi na pwede na tayong pumasok ang foreign investor dito para maglagay ng malakas na internet. Pero ano po ba kalagayan ng ating internet dito sa Pilipinas? Kasi nakasalalay pa rin po ang trabaho niya na yung pinag-uusapan natin. Nakasalalay pa rin po dyan. Yung mga riders natin, para lumakas ang kita niyan, dapat maganda internet. Siyempre po, pagka pinag-usapan natin, ang gusto natin magkaroon sila ng tamang karapatan, tamang sweldo, tamang lahat, dapat kumikita yung employer.
Thank you.
Ang tanong po, meron po bang pag-asa ng ating internet ay lumakas?
Mr. Chairman, if I may respond.
Please proceed.
Thank you po. Thank you for the question, Senator Padilla. Although we don't have let us check for the specific timeline. Pero ang sagot ko sa inyo may pag-asa naman, Senator. It's our free Wi-Fi and national broadband plan has a 5-year, we're writing it now kasi bago yung administrasyon, pero meron kaming 5-year plan to increase the bandwidth. In fact, according to the recent surveys conducted by the International Telecommunications Union, umakyat na naman po yung ating average bandwidth na pinuprovide ng ating internet service providers. Then again, nagkakaroon tayo ng mga issues pagdating sa pagdatayo ng mga bagong cell sites dahil marami ring tumututol sa ating mga private landowners, ayaw lalo na sa loob ng mga subdivision. I understand that NTC, which is which is an attached agency of DICT, has a proposed legislation regarding that matter. So para ma-resolve po itong mga issues na ito. With regard to naman po sa satellite, in fact, ito pong Starlink, ang kanyang operational, meron na po siya ngayong parang provisional franchise. Ang kanyang operationalization is sometime mid-2023.
Mr. Chairman, sino po ito? Ito po ba yung kay Tesla? Yun ba yun? Yun ba yung...
Yes po. Yes po.
Nandito na po sila.
Yes po.
Aba.
So,
ito
So we are hoping that kasi ang kanilang operationalization plan is mid-2023. So hopefully if they can roll out their infrastructure, then magkakaroon tayo ng wider na coverage. At the same time, additional competitors for our internet service providers. They said that per point, ang kaya nilang i-provide is 100 Mbps. I'm sorry, 100 Gbps. So it's a little bit better than what we have po, Senator Padilla.
Sana po maging ano na po yan kasi madalas ko nang madinig yun eh. Ako, 100 na po kayo ngayon. Meron pang testing yun eh. Oh, ang galing. Pero pagkaraan ng 2 araw, boss, wala na. Oh, talagang gano'n.
Siguro, sir, what we can...
Di ba? Meron pa ngayong app. Ano mo yung lakas mo?
So siguro we can also submit I think the DICT already submitted in the past a legislation. But what we can do is submit a new proposed legislation. Karamihan po kasi sa mga kanilang ina-advertise ay yung tinatawag na up or burst speed. Baka po pwede siguro na i-propose din namin sa Congress na ang kanilang i-advertise ay hindi yung burst speed kung hindi yung tinatawag na committed information rate, which is your minimum. Kasi madalas kasi po false advertising, sasabihin nila up to. Pero actually yung committed information rate is only 1/4 of that up to.
Okay, Chairman, mahal na tagapanggulo. Mukhang babagsak sa committee ko information to. Meron daw false information na ginagawa yung mga... Sige po, iimbitahin kita sa committee ko, boss, ha?